George Kaczynski and Mercedes Johnson, both manager of strategic sourcing for Bell Textron. Mercedes Johnson has been in the industry for 15 years of blended experience in the aerospace industry from her exposure in integrated operations and military program support. She has also helped, sorry, my notes went away. She has also helped the team toward the down select of Bell's 360 Invictus submission. George Kaczynski is the manager of strategic sourcing for the V-280 program. He has been with Bell since February and has 12 years of defense and aerospace supply chain experience in the Fort Worth, Texas area. Mr. Kaczynski worked with Lockheed Martin in the F-22 and F-35 major systems supply chains. He's also managed suppliers in several commodity types at UTAS Landing Systems and Terma North America, supporting F-35 and various other programs. He is most proud of his beautiful wife and 3 wonderful children. George graduated from the University of North Texas with a BA in International Politics. He has a master's degree in business from Texas Christian University. So I'd like to thank both George and Mercedes for presenting on this topic today. As discussed earlier, they will have a follow-up webinar on June 24th, which will be a much deeper dive of this presentation. So again, if people have questions, feel free to type them into the chat pane and we'll have George and Mercedes address them. If not, there will be opportunity at the end of their presentation to ask those questions one-on-one. So if George and Mercedes are ready, I will pass the torch to them and we'll let them get going. So without further ado, Mercedes and George from Bell Textron.
Okay, so we're excited to be here to talk to the group. I'm really kind of embarrassed now that Mercedes didn't have a beautiful introduction as well, but I'm glad you know a little bit more about me. Certainly, it's good to be in Bell and be part of this mission and the mission success. So a real quick background on Bell. So our mission statement: to be an iconic company with superb talent, rapidly creating novel and coveted vertical lift experiences. When I started here, I'm very new to Bell. I started in February, and when I started here, they have this great presentation that everybody gets when they started a new company. But this one was significant because what we are proposing to do and what we're trying to create changes the game for vertical lift for U.S. Army and plus a lot of our home branches of service. But what we've done in the past also revolutionized what we've done through vertical and other flight experiences. So Bell is more than aviation experts, pioneers who've challenged what's possible from the sound barriers to lunar missions, tilt rotor systems, and commercial helicopters. We're the first to break the sound barrier and to certify commercial helicopter. Part of NASA's first lunar mission, brought advanced tilt rotor systems to the market. And I'll tell you, it's been pretty exciting to be part of that team and to be able to see that history and to kind of count yourself as part of it. So our content is both commercial and military, the 505, 407, 429, 412. The 525 is in development. We're getting closer to certification, and as that comes out, the supply chain challenges are starting to ramp up as well, but very exciting program there to look into. Our military programs, legacy military programs, are the AH-1Z, the AH-UH-1Y, and the V-22, which in several variants, including the military, the carrier, Navy variant, and it's the CV-22. The CV-22, the Air Force SOCOM variant as well. So our main focus right now is the V-280 Valor and the 360 Invictus, which are our entrance into those future vertical lift programs that Molly was talking about just a moment ago. And really our key focus for our company going forward in this strange time that we found ourselves in as an industrial base, we have to keep fires burning, if that's a good way to say it. And these two programs give us a good opportunity to build a supply base that can answer challenges that are not going away just because we're stuck, working from home in several instances. And this is going to be a key challenge for us as a country, and as the U.S. Army modernizes and takes the opportunity to do that. We've got to show not only Bell, but our suppliers and our supply base that we've got what it takes to power through and still create groundbreaking aircraft that can do more than what the mission requires. So when the mission changes, we're ready for that as well. There's a couple of the key points that I get really excited about the F-22 or the V-22 and what it has done, but I think it's important to notice that our legacy aircraft, the rotor aircraft that we've had in the past are no longer equipped and ready to meet the challenges of the future. And so we've got two programs here that we're ramping up that are going to answer those challenges. And Mercedes is going to talk a little bit about what we're doing here with those two programs.
All right, perfect. Thanks, George. So, hi, my name is Mercedes Johnson. I've been with Bell for a little while now, going on almost 10 years. So I'm super excited to be with the company and at the part of the programs that they are with the V-280 and the Bell 360. So talking a little bit more about our key commodity areas where we see that we need to expand our supply base in. To have multiple sourcing options to help support these two development programs that we have for future vertical lift. So these are some of the areas. I'll highlight some big ones that we see coming up that we would need in the near term future. So that's going to be our castings and forgings, our bearings and elastomers, fuel cells and system components, our composite machining, and even outside processes. So we could see those needs to be needed, new supply base to grow that expanded supply base within the next 2 years possibly. And then making sure that we ramp up for these other areas. And just to make note, this list is not all encompassing of all the areas where we need support in growing our supply base. There's other areas that we could potentially need. So we're asking those companies that if you think you have a need or an experience or a system or a component that you think would be beneficial for these platforms, we ask that you share that information with us, because we are absolutely looking at new technologies and different items to help build our supply base to support these two programs. And as you'll notice on the right-hand side, of the screen, those are existing major suppliers that we have supporting us in the New Hampshire area. So we are absolutely very appreciative of all their support and everything that they do to help our current platforms and even also on our new development platforms. All right, so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how you could possibly help share your information with Bell. And how you can get your information to us so we can then take a look at your possible capabilities. So if you visit our website at www.bellflight.com, there's a suppliers section in there. And in that portal, there is a system in there, or there's a link in there for becoming a supplier. So you would click on that link, visit that website, and then also input your information into that website, and it has a good overview of kind of information you could put in to show your capabilities, the type of machinery and capacity that you have potentially at your areas. After we get your submission, we would then do a preliminary review to see if your information fits our strategic models or anything that we might be in need of. And then we would set up a technical review of those capabilities to see if they would then further benefit or support our platforms. And then we would then refer you to the appropriate commodity manager. There is a big interest in small businesses as well. So, and just to note that after we do the capability review and we give you an assignment, whether you were chosen or not chosen, we would definitely follow back up with you on communications as to why you were not chosen or why you were chosen, and making sure we close that loop with you all the way. So, all right. So, and that kind of lends in well into talking about our future supply chain initiatives that we're doing. So, for your awareness, Bell has provided significant investment to grow the business, especially to support these two platforms going forward. We're working on automating a lot of our systems, implementing new software, and we're optimizing our supply chain and our processes from the ground up, not only just to support becoming a supplier, but also the full integration of what it means to continue to provide parts, also when it gets into the customer's hands, and from a logistics standpoint, monitoring those parts in the field and seeing how we can make sure we're on the forefront of providing those parts to the customer well ahead of the time before that they are needed, or just in time to support the aircraft. So just going, I think that kind of covers everything that we wanted to talk about. George, I just want to give you opportunity to close the loop on anything else.
Yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, I think what we're trying to do with future supply chain is develop a capability that improves our time to market, time to delivery for production, decreases the amount of defects that permeate through the system, and provide just a better service for the customer all the way around. And so as we bring on new suppliers, we're going to probably be introducing some new requirements that hopefully you're seeing around the board, but that are giving us a good view into the supply chain and the health of the supply chain, and giving you a good view into the requirements and the strategy behind what we're trying to do, so that we can work more as a team and collaborate really on the supply chain, rather than just being kind of a nebulous mass that does hopefully well enough to get most of the mission accomplished. We would like to be ahead of the mission before it starts. So that's what we're going to be trying to focus on with our newer suppliers, and even our existing suppliers. We're bringing them up to speed on that list. All right, just to solidify the thought process, and we want to make sure that all of our suppliers have the opportunity to modernize and to come up to the level of need. As we contemplate having two programs that are future of U.S. Army vertical lift capabilities, we want to be able to support both of those programs to the best of anyone's ability. We want to be world-class in both of them. So that means our suppliers have to be world-class as well. And so we're willing to put in the effort and the time to make sure that you have every opportunity to be there.
Perfect. All right, so the last slide we have is just kind of our contact information for anyone out there who has questions, but also I highly encourage everyone to go out to the website and enter in your information on how to become a supplier, so we can get more engaged with you.
Well, perfect. Mercedes and George, thank you for sharing all the insight. As of now, if anyone has any questions for the two of them, it looks like we do. Oh, just a comment. So please pose them now. We will be having a separate webinar again with Bell on June 24th. So that will be a deeper dive into exactly what Mercedes and George kind of presented today. But if you do have any questions in between now and then, feel free to contact them via their emails presented on the screen now. This video will also be reposted. So if you need to rewatch and learn any more information, we'd be more than happy to share it with you. So it kind of looks like that you guys did such a good job that you covered everything. So if you guys have any other closing statements for the group, you're more than welcome to share them now. If not, I think we'll wrap up our Lunchtime Connections for today, and thank everyone for joining us.
Thank you. We appreciate you having us on.
All right. Well, thank you again, Mercedes and George. I thank you to everyone that attended. This video, like I said, will be posted. And if there's any questions or concerns, please reach out to me and I can connect you to any of the presenters today, or contact them directly yourselves. Thank you all for joining, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their week. All right. Goodbye.